nice to see a lot of familiar faces. We're going to go through information that's more for families who would be having new skiers. And we'll talk about some new policies this year too, and we'll also look at some new equipment or new uniforms at the very end of the discussion too, the informational portion of this meeting. But here's the itinerary. Oh yeah, real nice. And first things first, we have a new website. Eastridge and Woodbury have switched from using the iHigh website, which I think Park still uses, to using Engine. Kind of like the name of the villain from Jurassic Park. We're not using that site. There's the link right there. It goes through Eastridge right now, but currently the Woodbury administrators, the Park administrators are linking it to their website. So if you want to find it, you can use that URL, or you can wait like 2 days and it'll probably be up on each school's website for the activities. Here's a picture of it, or here's the link to it. Congratulations, Megan, you made the cover. Boy. On the website, just looking at the side, we have lots of links. The calendar, though, is the most important thing on here. If you click on the calendar, it'll bring you to this page, which shows you workouts, locations, what we're doing, when they begin, when they end, for the first 3.5 weeks of the season. After that, we're kind of banking on snow when it changes our plans. So as the weather gives us something more to work with, we'll give you more of a plan. But for those of you that have to do carpooling, have a junior high athlete, use this site for pickup and drop-offs, you know where everything is. We do have 3 high schools that practice together, Park, Woodbury, and Eastridge. And although they compete in separate teams, they share the same coaching staff and the same practice areas, and ideally they view each other as teammates. So our Park students get along with the Woodbury students, we get along with the Eastridge students, and so on. We sometimes practice at each school's high school. Maybe the teams are split up, so Park's only at Park High School, Woodbury's only at Woodbury High School, and so on. But typically we're together at one site. We're at one location. Either it's a ski trail or somebody's school where we're all working as one large power team. So this website's very helpful. And if you need any information, I would check there before you email me. If you can't find what you need on this website, then you can contact me. On the site, right here, at the bottom, contact information. So if you ever need to get a hold of me, there's an emergency or really important question, check that out. Sorry, I'm like in teacher mode right now. Any questions? 15 seconds of think time. Our coaches this year, we have some turnover. Julia Curry now works at PWER, and Bill Eberts has a child in Mexico. So he's down there with his wife down there too. So we lost Bill, we lost Julia. They have promised us that they will find chances to come visit the team this year. So we look forward to the visits. Hopefully during the 4th annual Bill Eberts soccer tournament, the first week of school, we'll see Bill for that. Yes. But we lose coaches, we get new coaches. And now's a good chance to introduce our new assistant coach, Ryan Jensen. He is the orchestra teacher at Woodbury High School. And he's younger than me, which is awesome. Very old. And we also have a new volunteer coach named Katie Brecky. She works at 3M, but was a skier at Stillwater and skied at the University of Madison. She has a busy work schedule. When she can make it, like we're practicing at Battle Creek, she'll be around to help us coach and help you guys learn and develop as skiers. So a lot of good experience. She seems very nice. We still have Matt Maher. Works at Park High School. And we also have Dale Thompson. And Tim Reckinger is still a volunteer coach. He could not be here because he is in Utah with his new grandchildren. Very excited. Okay. What is Nordic? It is a aerobic racing sport. It's not a hobby. And athletes will compete in cross-country races that go up and down trails and hills on skis. There are 2 types of Nordic skis. There are skate skis, which is this, And there are classic skis right here. This is classic skate. Those of you that are new, just quickly, you can see that one is larger than the other. It helps with the technique. Classic looks like you're shuffling, but it's much more complicated than that. But you see people shifting weight from side to side. It's the guy in the green up here. And skate is more like ice skating kind of motion. You've seen the body weight totally transfer over, and the diagonal strides, or not diagonal strides, but the diagonal movement of the ski. Two different techniques, two different skis. If you're new and you're looking to cut the price for joining the sport, there are some things called combi skis, which take the traits of a skate ski and the traits of a classic ski, and they bring them together to create kind of a bad mix of both of them. It's not a great ski for either one, but if you want to have a pair of skis that's a budget issue, you can start with that and see if you really like it and go from there. Also look at this too, before I move away. Along with the skis you get poles, makes you go faster. Classic poles are shorter, skate poles are longer. You do want to get two types of poles. So even if you get combi skis, you will want two different sizes for your poles for skate and classic. And there's also boots too. Look at all the equipment right now. Skate boots, classic boots. You can also purchase combi boots. I will show you a slide with the price for this equipment later on in the presentation. But that's skiing, using this equipment and racing roughly 5 kilometers and hopefully not throwing up at the end. These are 3 teams. Already covered that. For practice, again, we work at specific high schools at the start of the season. And then about 2 weeks in, we switch gears and we'll pretty much always be together as 3 teams as one practicing. And we'll usually be at ski trails. So the sooner snow gets here, the sooner we'll really be together and skiing on the trails. If the snow doesn't come, we'll probably practice at high schools quite often. The trails we're usually at are Lake Elmo, Battle Creek, which we'll do a lot of our races at, and the section, the conference races held there, section 4. And we'll also go to the ravine whenever they decide to groom it. It's a very nice course when it is groomed. Practice usually begin at about 3:30 when it's at a high school, like when you're at a separate high school. When we get together as a big team, practice begins at 3:45. And then later on in the year when the weather gets worse and there's snow, we push it back to 4. We're pushing it back to 4 this year so there's less speeding to get to the sites. It's a little bit safer. The sites that we practice at, mostly, Battle Creek and Lake Elmo will have lights, which is good because we can practice later. And if a new skier happens to get lost, at least they're not lost in the dark. We can go find them. Like, you laugh, but here's some highlights for the season. First practice is November 10th. That's a Monday. We have a preseason. Oh shoot! Sorry, Mike. I started going for that. We have a preseason party, which we'll talk about at the end of the information meeting. And we have several fun workouts. The first one is the first Saturday of the season. It's the birthday workout in honor of Mr. Maher. Where are you? Oh yeah, it's not yours. No way. But Jerome Detweiler's or is it Kaiser's? Yeah, Kaiser's. In honor of former coach Kaiser's birthday, we do a practice. We'll be at Afton Alps that day. We have reserved. Last year we were at Battle Creek. We have at Afton Alps. We'll be hill bounding at Afton Alps, which is much funner than it sounds. It'll be great. And afterwards, we'll have an awesome breakfast at the Mr. House. Yep, pancaked breakfast for you guys. We're like a brunch, really. Morning ski practice will be back. So after Thanksgiving break, we'll start skiing at Afton in the morning. So bring your headlamps if you have it. The Michigan trip will be before Christmas this year. So winter break starts, so we're going before Christmas. We have an unusually long winter break this year, which is great. And we'll be doing the Michigan trip before the holiday season, holiday portion of that. And then, so plan for that. I believe the first day is the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. It is on the calendar. We have fundraising events. Are these dates correct? Ignore the dates. We have fundraising events.
Yeah. First fundraising event is December 31st.
Yep.
At Cub in Cottage Grove. It's bagging at Cub in Cottage Grove. The next one is January 11th at Kowalski's in Woodbury here.
All right, so that one's good.
That one's good.
That one's good.
Okay, that one's bad. Don't do that one.
Yeah, we didn't get that one.
All right. We have 200 events. Check the calendar for those events. We have several large races: the Sabi, our MLK Pursuit race, sections, conference, and of course the costume race. And then the state meet will be held after that for those who earn a trip to Hawaii. Looked at the equipment already. Afterwards, if you have questions about it, I don't want to keep people here who have been on the team too long, but if you have questions about the specifics on the equipment as far as how it's designed, the structure of it, you can see me afterwards. But paying for it, the hard part about joining Nordic is just getting going and getting the equipment to ski on. You can go to stores such as Finn, Sisu, and Gear West, which I have a slide that shows the name for those for you guys later. And you can buy equipment. Intro packet or intro combo package here, $300, $500. You can also go onto eBay and find deals. You can find a friend of the family and borrow skis from them. That's what I did when I joined the team. Your first year, you don't need to have the best skis. You just need boards, and you just need to see if you like it, if you can enjoy it, and then go from there. And if that still is unappealing, we also have a rental program, something that our booster clubs have been working on the last, seems like a decade now. They've been adding skis to the team, where we can supply first-year skiers with a set of either combi skis or skater classic skis. And it is free to the first-year skier. You give us a $100 deposit check made out to the PWER Nordic Booster Club, and we hold on to that while you guys have the rental ski. And then once the ski is returned, the check is torn up. And so that's for first-year skiers so they can use Nordic equipment and see if they like it. It's just the skis, not the boots or the poles, but it's a good start. The skis are the most expensive part. And that day is the second Saturday of the season. We'll give you guys a heads up when it's coming so you can prepare for it. The skis are distributed on a first-come, first-served basis for that day. Clothes. Dale, do you want to just kind of talk about this a little bit?
Sure. Clothes are really important for staying dry. That's the big thing. If you get wet out there because you've got clothes that are too warm, then you get cold really fast as soon as you slow down. So we've got some examples of clothes up here that for parents that haven't seen this stuff before. Typically synthetics are the best thing. Cotton is not good because it absorbs sweat, and then you really get cold when that sweat cools off and your body starts to cool off. So some kind of synthetic or wool works great too. For tops, these are lightweight. Don't go too warm because you'll get overheated, and typically this lightweight stuff will work for most conditions until we get down to 10 degrees or 0. Then you might want to put 2 on or something rather than, or a little bit heavier. Then for, didn't bring any long underwear, but same principle as this. It's fairly light synthetic material that you'd use. Then you'd have some type of tight or ski pant over top of it, so you've got 2 layers. The other option is just to have long underwear on and then some kind of a windbreaker pant. Get it as form-fitting as you can so it's not flopping in the wind, because you go down the hill and you'll start to sound like an airplane and it starts to flop in the wind, but that'll work too. For a jacket, also a lightweight jacket. It's just really a single layer. Sometimes it's got a little bit of insulation in it, but not a lot, because the best thing about a jacket is if it's got some ventilation on the back that'll let some of the heat out, and then you can zip it down and let a little cool air in to cool yourself off. Other thing with tops, having a zipper in it gives you some temperature control also. Allows you to open up the shirt a little bit and get it a little bit cooled down rather than having to sweat it out if you really start working hard. And then this is a typical weight for a ski suit. It's not very warm. It is not warm enough to wear as the only thing you got on. You really need a base layer under this. And then you have to be really smart about looking at the temperature before you come to a race and preparing for that. If you show up with just this thing, top and bottom, just a suit, you're going to be cold, and you might even get frostbite. So you got to be smart about it. Parents are going to have to check with kids and make sure they're being smart about bringing the right clothes for the right day. Okay. So that's pretty much the clothes themselves, and then we go back to gloves. The warmest is what we call a lobster mitt. It's actually a thumb and then 2 sections. That's a real warm glove. For most times, it's going to be too warm. For us coaches standing around, it's the ideal thing because we can keep warm when we're standing. But if you're skiing, and it's got to be 10 degrees or colder, or else you're going to really overheat. And just a regular glove is a better idea. Knit mittens are not a good idea. They do not work well. They're cold. The wind will go through them, and kids' hands will freeze. Okay? Hats, mandatory, not an option. You got to have a hat or a headband, something on your head, something that breathes. It's nice. It's either a synthetic or a wool hat that will stay warm even if it gets wet. And then buffs or cozies. This is really a good way to stay warm in a lot of different conditions, and there's like 6 different ways you can wear it to try and adjust to the temperature conditions or wind conditions that are out there on a really ugly day. And you're going to talk a little bit more about team ones, right?
Yeah, I will.